Great scholars, let us consider our coefficients today. Coefficient. Our coefficient. Let us consider coefficients of algebraic terms. Coefficient is simply a variable that is attached to another variable by times. Coefficient is a variable that is attached to another variable by times. It could be a letter, it could be a number. This variable could be a letter, could be a number, provided it is attached to a given letter or another variable by times, then it is considered to be a coefficient. So at a level, you should understand that coefficient is simply a variable attached to another variable or a letter or another number by times. Look at this. If I have xy is there on the board, and I ask you what is the coefficient of y, you tell me that the coefficient of y is x. The coefficient of y in this case is x. Coefficient of y coefficient of x, coefficient of xy. We deal with those three. What we have on the board there is xy. If I ask you what is the coefficient of y, you tell me x, and you'll be correct. If I ask you what is the coefficient of x, you tell me y. You'll be correct because x is attached to y by times and y is also attached to x by times. If I ask you what is the coefficient of xy, this time I am looking at the two letters xy combined. I am looking at them. So this time the coefficient of xy will be 1 because 1 is attached to these variables x and y, but since it is 1, it will not be written for you to see. But you should know that if a letter is alone, the number attached to that letter is 1. But if it is more than 1, it will be written for you to see. Example, you have 3xy. I want to ask what is the coefficient, x coefficient, y coefficient, and xy coefficient. Let's bring them out. You have 3xy on the board. If you ask what is the coefficient of x, what is the coefficient of x, you understand here that 3 and y are attached to the x by times. So the coefficient of x in this case is 3y. The coefficient of x is 3y. And if you ask what is the coefficient of y, what is the coefficient of y, your answer will be 3x, because it is 3x that is attached to y by times. And if you ask what is the coefficient of xy, your answer will be 3 in this case. So these are different coefficients that we have. Coefficient, I said, is a variable attached to a letter by times. A variable attached to a letter by times is called coefficient. Look at this. Look at this. You have xy over 7. Xy over 7. You ask coefficient of x, y coefficient and xy coefficient. You're given xy over 7 and you're asked to find the coefficient of x, the coefficient of y, and the coefficient of xy. Xy over 7 is a fractional number and can also be written as 1 over 7 xy. That you should know. It can also be written as 1 over 7 xy. So if you ask what is the coefficient of x, your answer is 1 over 7y. Or you write y over 7. If you ask what is the coefficient of y, your answer is 1 over x, 1 over 7x, 1 over 7x, or you write x over 7. What is the coefficient of xy? Your answer is 1 over 7 alone. This is how you write coefficients of numbers. Now, for simple or direct numbers like 5x, you ask what is the coefficient of x in this case, your answer is 5. If you're given 10y and you ask what is the coefficient of y, your answer is 10. You're given minus 3x. You ask what is the coefficient of x, your answer is minus 3. If you're given minus 4y squared and you ask what is the coefficient of y squared, your answer is minus 4. All this you need to combine to deal with problems in mathematics. Look at this. Given the expression, you have 4xy plus x squared minus 6x. You ask, write or find the coefficient of 1, xy, 2, x squared, and 3x. In this case, xy is 4, x squared is 1, and x is minus 6. These are their respective coefficients. So this you should know. A coefficient is a number or a variable attached to another variable or number by times. So do this yourself. Do the following. 1, giving, let me just write, giving the expression, you have minus 3xy plus 4x minus 6x squared plus 13x raised to the power 3. Write the coefficient of number 1, xy, number 2, x, number 3, x squared, and number 4, x raised to the power 3. Write out their coefficient and forward your answers to me. Write out the coefficient of these numbers and forward your answers to me. Thank you and see you in the next class.